Warning, Wrestling POV Global is not suitable for all ages. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, this is the top guy, Griffin McCoy, representing Young, Dumb, and Broke, and you're watching WPOV Global.
Wrestling POV, Global Black and Yellow brand. It's your point of view on a global stand. From north to south, to east to west, they got you covered like a blanket. But I digress from elite to the hot topic. AEW, Impact, New Japan, they got it. Have you laughing so hard, have your belly aching? Heard any different? I'm sure you're mistaken.
Hi, folks. Welcome to a special edition of WPOV Global. I'm your host, the legend T. James Logan. With me, the gentleman Elio Canella. Elio, how you doing, brother?
I am doing great. However,
Oh,
I'm still in pain from I had successful surgery. It was success, but when doctors brought me out of anesthetic.
okay. Hold on, though. You had surgery because of why? Explain what again.
Oh,
to the
yes.
fans.
Okay. So I had my jaw surgically repaired after being hit with a stunner by Clay Cummings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bully.
Now, now, what they did was, I had surgery. I had surgically repaired.
Mm-hmm.
They brought me out of anesthetic, and they said, "Well, we discovered you had a bruise on your cheek." I'm like,
A bruise on your cheek. Now, is it because Clay and Rick Serrano the third tried to kiss your ass so hard that they actually left a bruise? Was it that cheek?
that one, and they also hit me with a super kick. You know what? I gotta ask.
Yes.
Clay and Rick, are you guys taking lessons from the Young Bucks? Do you have a do-it-yourself super kick party instructional video that you're watching?
Wow. That is very, if they do, that's very sad, Elio.
I mean, I don't know.
Although I could see Rick dressing, actually, I could see the two of them dressing just like the Young Bucks. It seems like they would wear that kind of stuff.
But don't worry, I will get retribution. I will get the 5-second shuffle championship back and bring it back to WPOV Global.
That is what I like to hear. Well, you know what, fans?
Even we even have a fan.
Yeah, we have a fan. Well, that's an Elio fan. They walked by as I'm doing it in the palatial glass studio. He saw you on there and he's like, I love that Elio guy. And gave a little bit of a wave. So you know what, fans, the reason I'm referring to this as a special edition, I know you're hearing this on the regular time you usually hear the WPOV show, is because the screwy setup that's been Dynamite for the last couple of weeks. We had a schedule for like a year plus where we were always doing it Wednesday night right after the thing. We'd get the show edited, probably get to you guys like Thursday afternoon, Thursday night. Well, with the playoffs, there had been a change in schedules, and we got a string of these Friday night Dynamites, and I kind of wondered if this would happen, and sure enough it did. This following Saturday, just a couple days ago from when we were recording this, there was a Dynamite. And before we could do our regular Wednesday recording, there is going to be another Dynamite on Wednesday. So we thought this week we're going to skip Hot Topic. We're going to skip news from all the stuff that we do. We're going to skip Elite Delete. And we're just going to go through this episode really quickly that happened on Saturday. And then there's going to be a little pause. We'll take a little break. And when we come back, you will get the newer show, which will be recorded as I'm talking to you today. It will be recorded probably the same time tomorrow night, featuring Elio and Rick Serrano III, and who knows who else. And they will go over the Dynamite that they just watched. Okay, so you're going to get two Dynamite reviews here back to back, the Saturday and Wednesday editions. Okay, so let's start off. First off, I want to say I have been very hating on these Friday night editions because we have been, it's like we were handed a steaming pile of dog crap for the last couple of weeks. Was hating it, and I got to tell you, I was dreading this, Elio.
I know, right?
This. Yeah, what are we going to get ourselves into here?
I hope they don't screw it up to one and give us a crappy show again. Come on.
But you know what? This Saturday, I'm going to say Saturday's edition was the best AEW Dynamite I've had in a long time.
It was enjoyable. I was watching it earlier today.
Okay. Well, we're going to go over some of the things that happened in there, and we'll talk a little bit about it. Let's start off. We start off with our opening match, which is Hangman Adam Page taking on Powerhouse Hobbs. I guess I should mention, to open the show, they had a little thing where Sammy Guevara was walking through the parking lot. Sean Spears comes up behind him, hits him once, I'm going to say gingerly, with a chair.
Yeah, you see, like, Sammy just turned around like, oh, hey. And then I was like, what?
Yeah, it wasn't that hard of a chair shot, but Sammy sold it like he was hit with a semi truck or something like that.
Yep.
And then Sean Spears standing over him, antagonizing him. Basically, the preference here, basically the idea here is that Sean Spears is taking out Sammy before his matchup with MJF. So that was kind of the thing here. Gonna say it fell a tiny bit flat because, first of all, the chair shot did not look painful. Sammy shot like he acted like he was shot with a high caliber rifle, and Sean Spears was just goofy the way he acted standing over him. So I'm gonna give a bit of a miss.
This guy, like, he came in. He was supposed to be like the chairman.
Yeah.
And we thought he was gonna, like, they were gonna use him and, like, actually, like, do something better with him. Then they they didn't do anything. Then they put him in the Pinnacle, and they're still not doing anything. He's still the same.
I'm starting to wonder if he really is a lost cause. Is there anything they can get out of this guy that's going to be, is he destined for lower mid-card? I'm starting to feel that way. What are you thinking, Elio?
Yeah, I mean, like, they've tried with this guy. Nothing's working with him.
Okay. Well, let's move over to that opening match. Now we have Hangman Adam Page against Powerhouse Hobbs. It was an okay match. It was a little bit better than I thought it was going to be.
Yep.
Props to Hobbs, who actually ran pretty good with Adam Page. He's got that permanent sneer, which makes me kind of always laugh though when I see him. He has a face when you look at it, you wonder, could this guy ever be a good guy? Could he get that sneer off his face?
Well, he was when they brought him in, and then he joined Team Taz.
Yeah, I guess Team Taz would give anybody, like, I would think if I was stuck on Team Taz and I was a professional wrestler, I would have a sneer and probably a bad bout of diarrhea.
No, but you would have thought that Brian Cage is already turned at Double or Nothing. They're still going with this story.
Well, we complain sometimes about things happening too fast, and then they give us a story where I thought this guy was already a good guy, but
right.
So we get to the end of this match where Page does take the win. And but before, just as things are getting near the down and dirty, out comes Ricky Starks and your favorite wrestler. No, I guess he's Rick's favorite wrestler, Hook, and good old Hook. And he come down to the ring carrying the FTW belt, that prestigious gold belt, the FTW belt.
It's so important and relevant.
Yeah, of course. If fans who are listening to this and don't recognize sarcasm, this is it. Comes down with this horrible prop. Brian Cage comes down and rips it away from Starks and kind of throws him down, which surprised me because we know Starks is still recovering from some neck injuries and stuff like that. So I was actually a little surprised that this got as physical as it had. But so that little thing happens, and in the end, Page gets the win, and we have Taz backpedaling, saying that he has to have a talk with Brian Cage.
So, go ahead, whatever that means.
Well, this is an ongoing weekly talk with these guys. How are you seeing this? Like, because I'm going to say it was an okay match. I didn't mind it.
No, I was fine with this match. It was better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, let's face it. I mean, you can expect a lot out of Adam Page. Powerhouse Hobbs, I don't expect a lot out of him because, let's face it, he's a young dude who... since he's been a young, I don't know. I don't expect a lot out of the dude, but I'm glad that we can see some glimpses of good things to come. Okay. Next, we cut to a video of Kenny Omega against Jungle Boy, and just drumming up the thing, your typical promo package. Then we get this ridiculous Young Bucks interview. where these guys are hamming it up so bad. Brandon Cutler in the background trying to interject constantly and getting mocked and pushed around. And it's like, okay, I guess you need a job. That it seems like this is a characterization in AEW a lot, that if you're a guy who's of higher ranking, that you can just misabuse somebody because they're so desperate need to keep employed that they'll take your bullshit.
But I kind of like Nick Jackson now, like, because like we haven't seen anything from him like this whole time, and now he's actually got some personality there.
Oh, he's turning on the Snidely Whiplash. That's good. I'm gonna give him that. He's got the mustache twirling monster going on.
I just don't like him better than Matt. That's just okay, whatever. He's there, but he's doing the same thing. But at least Nick's got like some personality now.
Well,
before
Matt,
you just stand around with this empty stare.
Yeah, Matt tends to overdo it, and it's too cartoony. I gotta say, Nick comes across as a little bit more effective as a heel. So yes. Enjoy, it was an okay thing, but let's get to the next thing, which I really did enjoy, which surprises me. The confrontation between Tully Blanchard and Conan. First of all, this is Conan's first appearance. For no reason that I can think of, he pops out to represent the Proud and Powerful. They have a gentleman's talk, which does not make sense. I don't know where they got this idea from.
For me, I'm the gentleman.
Oh my Lord. Anyhow, Tully Blanchard looked cool. He stumbled a bit on some of his lines in the beginning, which I was really afraid was going to turn into a horrible schmoz. But it ended up with a cool segment where Conan said a lot of cool stuff.
Yep.
And it's always weird because I'm used to him. It's so weird. He goes from good guy to bad guy so much. It's hard to tell which week he's going to be which character.
I caught that one line that he said that Tully better learn Spanish.
Yes, and that a reference, of course, to Tully's daughter marrying Daga, who is a Spanish wrestler. And what was the reference? You better learn Spanish if you want to understand what your grandchildren's talking about.
Yeah, if you want to communicate with your grandkids.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty hilarious. In the end, Conan gets jumped as he says, I brought myself back up. And it looks like the Proud and Powerful come out, but it in fact is FTR wearing masks. And they jump Conan, lay him out, and I guess this will be interesting to see where this goes, because one of the things we've talked about is the fact that FTR has been around for a while, Proud and Powerful has been around for a while. Not only have these guys not faced each other, but they haven't even been wrestling as tag teams themselves for quite a while. We've barely seen them wrestle, so I guess it's time for them to put on the boots and see what kind of team they make. Interesting. I'm going to say I liked it. Next we have Dante Martin comes walking out. All of a sudden, Vicky Guerrero. This I find very confusing. I don't.
Yeah, this was odd.
Yeah, Vicky comes out doing her "excuse me" shtick. Behind her comes Andrade. Just as he's about to start speaking, out comes Matt Sydal. Matt Sydal just looks at him, walks by him. Andrade, he just ends up walking back to the dressing room, and you're thinking, well, what was the point? Was it we just need to get his face on the camera for a minute?
That was a weird placement.
So we'll see. Maybe the writers didn't have anything for him this week, and they're like, just stick your face out there. We'll figure something next time. We'll see. Next we had I'm going to say kind of a refreshing match. Matt Sydal versus Dante Martin. Sydal tends to be the small guy who's a little too small, and sometimes he looks very it doesn't look so realistic the way he manhandles big guys. But Dante Martin is a smaller guy too, and they had for a young guy, I've always been impressed with this Dante Martin. He doesn't have a lot of experience, but he really does put on a show.
Did you see it was this guy or his brother that was Airwolf in MLW?
His brother was Airwolf.
Oh, it's a brother. Okay.
Yeah, the other dude was Airwolf. So they had a very interesting, fun match. I'm going to say surprising. It reminded me of the old days of WCW where, you turn it on and between all the big bad guys and the big giant guys, all of a sudden you get like a cruiserweight bout out of nothing. That was like one of the coolest matches. This was definitely a fun match full of athleticism, and Sydal gets the win, and not much of stories going on here. Just a good exhibition of wrestling, and props up to Dante Martin. We go to Jungle Boy in the back doing an extremely awkward, he's going to do an interview when Christian Cage comes in and trying to buddy him up and tell him, you can do this, blah, blah, blah. Typical. Not going to say much about that. Then we have Jade Cargill and her ridiculous lawyer talking about them selling T-shirts. And
can I just say,
yeah,
Jade Cargill's trying to sell T-shirts, so buy a T-shirt. Yeah, you can buy a Jade Cargill T-shirt. You can buy one T-shirt. Why would you want to buy one T-shirt when you can buy 5 of WPOV?
Holy crap, you are a salesman and a half. Now, if we could get you in that little bathing suit that Jade Cargill had on. Wait a sec. No, we want people to buy this. Sorry.
No, that doesn't scare them off. What are you doing?
Yeah. I'm going to say usually Jade Cargill annoys me greatly with her speaking. Strangely entranced by the skimpier and skimpier clothes she's wearing each week. I'll give her that. We move on next to the interview that you mentioned earlier. The Pinnacle members, MJF, Sean Spears, and Wardlow, bragging and going on when all of a sudden in comes Jake Hager and Chris Jericho on the attack. Devolves into a fight that drags. I always love this in wrestling. Only in wrestling can you start a fight backstage that inevitably ends up inside the ring. You fight through the curtain. So this happened, and the onus here is Sammy taking on MJF, obviously, this coming Wednesday.
He's actually going to wrestle?
Yes. Oh, let's see.
MJF, I gotta say, every week this guy is on my screen. Every week he says the same bullshit over and over.
Yep.
Either wrestle or get off my screen. Don't just take up time and waste my time.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
No, we have talked this sentiment quite a bit through the show. Is MJF really is putting himself as a mouth that doesn't really do a lot. So let's hope he has a good showing here, because I'm starting to almost write this guy off.
Yeah.
Next, we had a little promo video where we have Miro sitting around threatening Brian Pillman Jr., which I'm sorry, guys, as much as I like Brian Pillman Jr., the way they're presenting Miro, I think this is going to be a bit of a squash, to be honest. And it should be. It really should be.
I did like the promo. I'm liking this promos lately. This is just promos that we should have seen earlier.
Yeah, I liked it. And I love how he's always thanking Jesus or God for making him a destroyer.
God's favorite champion.
Yeah, good stuff. Next, we come to a match where I'm going to say I liked it a lot more than I thought on paper, although I had a few problems with it. Ethan Page with Scorpio Sky taking on Bear Bronson with Bear Boulder.
Right? I didn't think I'd like this match, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
It was good. The only problems I've had with this match is Ethan Page is a fair size guy. He should not be picking up bear country dudes and giant, throwing crucifixes and stuff like that. It really sells bear country as not being anything special. That part I didn't like. But there was some good stuff here. And then we have a very impassioned promo after Page gets the win. A little bit of cheating, of course. There was this good promo where he kept saying about Darby Allin. How did he put it? I'm going to put you in a coffin. He's going to be the nail in his coffin.
Yeah, the final nail in Darby Allin's coffin.
Right. So why not have a coffin match, I guess, is what this is headed towards.
Okay. So, sure.
The problem I've had is, we don't really get enough explanation of why Ethan Page and Darby Allin. We get little mentions of them having hate in the past, but it really seems they've escalated this feud from 0 to 120 really quickly. And it just I just don't understand being somebody, if I'm just the casual viewer who's just watching Dynamite, I really don't get the hatred between Ethan Page and Darby Allin. I mean, they've said a few things, but they haven't been around enough. And I don't know. I think they should have really sussed out the story a little bit longer and had a few more things happen so that we could really get behind what this blood feud between these guys is, because it's a tough one for me. Okay.
Ooh, wouldn't it make more sense to have a first blood match?
A first blood match. Oh my goodness. You are a nasty little fellow, aren't you? A first blood match.
It's the thought. You just said this is blood feud. It makes sense.
Okay. That does make sense. I'll give you that. We had our interview with Britt Baker.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of funny because I know they're trying to make her a good guy, kind of, but she still comes off as such a bitchy chick. So
Yeah, but
Part of me-
Stone Cold was a face, and he still acted like a heel.
Yeah, but you didn't really want somebody to kick Austin in the face and shut him up, which you kind of sometimes do with Britt Baker. So she hasn't quite hit that sweet spot where she can be as jerky as she wants and get away with it. At least in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Elio, are you buying it more? Are you seeing her more as a face than I am?
Yeah, I mean, the way she presents herself every week, it's like it's like okay, like she sounds more like a face.
Okay. We bookend that with Vicky Guerrero and Nyla Rose doing a quick promo.
No one wants to see that match next week.
I do not know what to think of that match coming up. It should be, I think it's tomorrow, right? So yeah, so I probably won't see it till I get back next week. So I don't know. I don't have a lot of hope. Nyla Rose matches don't usually do much for me. We'll see where that goes.
And they set up another match for July 7th, Britt Baker and Nyla Rose.
Oh, okay. Yes, I should have mentioned that. We have coming up then the Bunny taking on Chris Statlander. The Bunny coming out with Blade, Statlander with Orange Cassidy. It was a fairly good match. It was okay. It wasn't great. Boy, the Bunny looked a lot better than when we saw her a couple weeks ago where she was all over the ring. Craziness with, I think it was with Red Velvet. She had that just train wreck of a match.
Let me ask.
Yes.
Did they kind of give the Bunny somewhat of an Alexa Bliss gimmick where she was doing that stare?
I thought it was more because they cut down the amount of her showing her tongue ring off.
Oh, okay.
You know?
I just noticed the comparison there.
I'm going to say I didn't catch that, but I could be wrong. You could be tapping into it, buddy. I didn't read that, but then I don't actually watch a lot of Alexa Bliss. So, yeah, I'm going to have to go with that. Good match. Chris Statlander, she's been gone for 10 months now, or she had been gone for 10 months. She's back now. She used to be noticeably heavier, and I always wondered, what would she look like with the weight off? Now that she has the weight off, it's almost like it's too much weight off because now she doesn't seem as big. I mean, she seems tall, but she doesn't seem as big and as imposing as she was before.
Get away from best friends. We keep telling you.
Yes, they are sucking the life out of you.
They're killing her. And she was like, when AEW started, she was like on this streak, and she was like having all these great matches. And now. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say I do like her finishing maneuver. It's got the dumbest name, The Big Bang Theory, which is her pile driver.
I love that show.
It looks good, yeah, but I mean it's a dumb name for a pile driver.
No, that's true.
She takes out Bunny. Now there was this interesting thing where obviously I guess they're going to have our next feud will be the Blade versus Orange Cassidy because the Blade sneaks in knuckle dusters to the Bunny, who before she can get it, Orange Cassidy takes them away, rolls out of the ring. She gets nailed by the Big Bang Theory. Statlander's got the win, and as they're celebrating, Blade jumps in, attacks Orange Cassidy. Orange goes for the fight back, but then out comes Jack Evans and Angelico, who hold him down, and Blade punches him full in the face with the knuckle dusters, taking him out. So I think this is obviously a feud in the making here. The thing is it really a feud we even care about? I mean, the Blade has really, I know Butcher is out. I believe he's had some surgery recently that they kept on the DL, but the Blade hasn't really been presented as much of an interest. So I'm not sure how much I really care if I was, to see this. Orange Cassidy, this is his precipitous fall, isn't it? I mean, he's going further and further down the rankings with who he's fighting. So he has nothing to win out of this feud. The Blade actually has more to gain by a good showing over Orange Cassidy than Orange Cassidy has of any showing over Blade. So I hope that's not indicative of where Orange Cassidy is headed in this company. After the match, okay, so next we have up talking. If you needed a time that you felt like you couldn't get some sleep and you were a little bit groggy, but you couldn't quite get there, they had the thing for you, and that was an interview by QT Marshall, who I'm not calling him Marshall. QT Marshall. I even hate calling him QT. It just sounds stupid. But so Marshall comes out.
That's a perfect thing to help me get sleep.
Yeah, he's a snoozer, and I don't even care. I'm just skipping over. I don't really fucking care what he said. So we have a lineup for this Wednesday. We have Dr. Britt Baker and Rebel versus Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero. Yuck. We have Miro defending his title against Brian Pillman Jr. This should be interesting, but I still think we're looking at squash. MJF versus Sammy Guevara. MJF, you got to rise up and do something here, man. Sammy has been showing some good stuff. He's over. I don't know if MJF has it in him. Then we have the Young Bucks versus Penta and Eddie Kingston. And we have a bit of a promo there. All of a sudden, Eddie and Penta are best friends again, or I don't know what that's about.
What about when Phoenix returns?
Well, he's brothers, man. He's his brother. It's Pac.
No, but you know how Kingston was closer to Penta than Phoenix?
Yeah, that's right. He had that whole, he was kind of dumping on him sort of deal. I don't know how that's going to go. They did bring in Penta's manager, Alex Abrantes, and
okay.
I like that dude. It was good to see him getting some work in today. So finally we get to the big main event. Jungle Boy comes out. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but did they say he's from Value Village? Is that where they announced him from? It sounded like they said from Value Village, and I'm like, really? He's from a thrift store? Huh? Whatever. Okay. And of course we got Omega's ridiculous North Carolina thing.
Oh no.
I'm gonna say though, this was a pretty solid match.
Yeah, I enjoyed this match.
This match was what it had to be.
Yep.
Jungle Boy, I still think it's a little quick for him to actually win the big belt. But he showed tonight that he can run with Omega, and that he's going to be a danger down the road. He just needs a little more seasoning, a little more things. He put on a pretty tremendous show. Omega, as much as he can be an idiot and do all these things, he still puts on really good wrestling matches. And this was a good wrestling match. So I'm going to say I enjoyed this. At the end, we had run-ins galore as we had Jurassic Express fighting Anderson and Gallows. We had Frankie Kazarian coming out there. Then at the end, Kenny gets the win. As he's celebrating, he picks up the belt. He's going to nail Jungle Boy in the face one more time, give him, a good lasting shiner or something. Out comes Christian Cage. Christian Cage comes to the thing, gets into a scuffle, and then, of course, we have the Young Bucks come out, and they attack. And then we have just a whole bunch of people beating down, trying to – it's becoming kind of goofy to me. It's almost on the line, or like it's reminding me a lot of WCW.
It was a 1998 WCW finish.
Yeah, it was like NWO shit. I'm gonna say this was one of the better cards I've seen in a while, and if I had to rate this, I'm going to give it a B.
Yeah,
a solid B.
I'm going with the B as well. This was a fun show. Hopefully tomorrow night doesn't disappoint. Don't go back to 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, we've seen the layout of the card, so I'm not sure if you're going to get that great of a card. So, folks, I'm going to say goodbye to you. I am headed out to the mountains for a week. So tomorrow night, which you'll hear after this break, it'll cut to Elio and Rick Serrano. And I don't know if anyone else is joining them, but they'll be covering the Wednesday edition of AEW. So hopefully, Elio, I hope you're in for a better show than we've had in a while. Hopefully, at least up to this level. So I want to thank you and have yourself a great week, Elio, and we'll talk to you all next week. Stay tuned, though, because after this break, it'll be the second half of the show. All right? Have a good night, folks.
What's up? I'm Vinny Talata, and you're watching WPOV Global.
Ding dong! Hello! TJ Logan said it. Rick Serrano III is here, a.k.a. the third wheel, a.k.a. Mr. First Ever, a.k.a. Ricky Two Belts. That's right. The Wrestling POV champion and the 5-second shuffle champion is here with Elio Canella. And Elio, I have to apologize to you, man. I know you've been going through a lot of problems right now. You got stunnered by Clay. You got put in the sharpshooter by me. But it was a part of the podcast. It was about the championship. You disrespected me, so I had to let you know. But I have to apologize. And Elio, from the bottom of my heart, I am so sorry. I am so sorry that you awoken the sleeping giant that is Rick Serrano III, because I am ready and I am here. And I am now holding 2 championships in the Wrestling POV world. So thank you, and I'm sorry for that, Elio.
All right, I'm not sure how to follow that up.
Do you accept my apology? Yes,
I accept. Okay, I accept your apology.
Oh, man, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know about this, just listen to me and Elio every week. You can find us on different channels, different shows. I'm on Wrestling POV Podcast every Saturday with Tony Diaz and Clay Cummings. We cover everything WWE. Elio Canella covers everything AEW on this channel right now on Wrestling POV Global. You can find them every Thursday with TJ Logan and Andy Anderson. Of course, we have WPOV Quarantine, which you can find every Wednesday with Elio Canella, TJ Logan, Andy Anderson, myself, Tony Diaz, an abundance of wrestling legends, historians, writers, everything you can think of as they go over random wrestling topics on our YouTube channel. Make sure you check that out on Wrestling POV. And of course, we have WPOV Aftermath, where we cover our pay-per-views, and we even crown a Wrestling POV champion or a Turd Award winner, which I'm pretty sure the Turd Award winner is not here today, Andy Anderson. I guess he's still getting the stank off of him. Am I right?
However, I have an apology of my own to make.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, we have a rule on Global.
Okay.
Whenever someone adds 2 titles to their name. And this Richard Holiday from MLW was the first offender of this crime. Now you want to follow that trend and want to call yourself Ricky Two Belts. So Ricky Two Belts, you just made the book.
Wow. So I'm just getting championships after championships. I'm getting accolades after accolades. Now I'm in this book. I'm in the book on Wrestling POV Podcast. I'm everywhere, baby. Woo! You know what, ladies and gentlemen? This is a double dose of Dynamite. Earlier in the show, you heard TJ Logan and Elio give their thoughts on the Saturday edition of Dynamite. You're going to hear our thoughts on the Wednesday night Dynamite in a few seconds. I just want to also add on that I also agree with you guys. I also gave the Saturday night show a B. I thought it was an excellent show. I think Conan's promo was probably one of the best promos of the year. I thought he did an excellent job at that. I thought it was an excellent show. But Elio, let's get into some Dynamite.
All right.
Our first matchup, we had Eddie Kingston and Penta Cero Miedo defeating the Young Bucks to become the #1 contenders for the championships. Now, let me tell you something about this match. This match was nearly perfect for me. In my honest opinion, in my POV, this was a near perfect match from Jericho on commentary, from Frankie Kazarian coming in, attacking, being the elite hunter, the mustaches that the Young Bucks had.
I was like, what's going on? Well,
What is going on?
What was it? Wait, Matt's mustache? Like, did he borrow it from Bobby Roode?
Yes, he did, because the Fu Manchu on Nick was definitely way better. Nakazawa had a mustache. Brandon Cutler had a mustache. And also just the styles of wrestling. Like, you got Eddie Kingston, who has more of an urban style of wrestling, a street fighter, right? Then you have Penta, who is a luchador. And then you have the Young Bucks, who are just tag team specialists. I think this was a near perfect match to open up Dynamite. Their last Dynamite that's going to be in Jacksonville for a while. I thought this was a near perfect match to open up the show. What were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, this match, I really enjoyed this match. What a great way to open the AEW Dynamite this week.
Yeah.
Like, everything about it. I can't even pick out one specific thing. Even like that false finish where, what's his name, Rick Knox said, did he count 3?
He counted 3.
I went back and I saw it. I'm like, wait, he counted 3.
but it added to it. It added to the drama of the match. So he made a mistake. Like, Matt Jackson was just like 2, 2, 2, 2, and everybody in the crowd was like, "It was 3. It was 3." So it added to the drama of the match. So I thought that was
just everything about this match was great. I liked it from beginning to end.
Yeah,
way to open the show.
All right, next up we had Christian and Jungle Boy backstage. What were your thoughts on this backstage segment?
Okay, you know what? Christian. Okay, I like Christian. Jungle Boy, I'm a fan. Marco Stunt. We all know my thoughts on Marco Stunt. But Luchasaurus, he was bad in this segment, though.
You didn't like it?
He just came off so cartoony, like, hey, I got your back. You know, dinosaurs are loyal. Like,
you know what, Elio? I disagree. I liked it. There was something about it that made me laugh out loud, and I was just like, And then when Christian was like, "Oh, I'm part Triceratops on my uncle's side," that hilarious. Come on, man. But I get it. So, I mean, as somebody who likes corny jokes, I can see why it was funny, but I can also see why people may have not liked this one. But at the end of the day, I think this was just the way to bring Luchasaurus back and Marco Stunt back into the picture for Jungle Boy.
But no, for real though, I think I really think they need to move Jungle Boy away from this team, Joe.
Oh yeah. And probably this was the time to do it, I think. But yeah, I totally agree with you. Next up, we had the Ethan Page promo. Yeah, this was pretty bad. I wanted to like this one. I like the whole thing about the coffin match. I'm really hyped and excited about that.
I want to see what they do with this. I want to give this one a chance to see what they do.
Yeah. Sting comes out dragging a coffin. They got Sting always dragging something. What is he, a donkey? What is he always dragging Darby? Like he's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or something. Stay tuned for Christmas Dynamite where Santa Darby comes pulling out.
Winter's Coming Part 2.
Yeah, come on. I wasn't a fan of that.
No.
But Darby Allin's like little pedicure he had going there, his nails were better than my wife's.
but what do you think this name for this team, Men of the Year?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I like because I thought they just said it in passing, but then after listening to it a few times, I'm like, is that really what they're called, Men of the Year?
Yeah.
That's a terrible name.
Yeah, it's a terrible name. It's a terrible gimmick, the whole thing. But at the end of the day, because Darby was scratching the eyes of Ethan Page, Ethan Page canceled the match and said if Darby Allin could behave himself and not attack Ethan Page in the coming weeks, then maybe at Fyter Fest they could have their coffin match.
Now, do you really think Darby Allin's going to behave himself?
No. Come on. Something's going to happen. Sting, the Enforcer, is going to be there, and it's going to be some ridiculousness.
He's always going to attack Ethan Page any chance he gets.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we had Jungle Boy defeating Jack Evans in a one-on-one matchup. What were your thoughts on this, Elio?
This one wasn't a bad match. Like I said, I'm a fan of Jungle Boy. I think in this match, I was fine with this match. Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't be helping out TJ if I didn't say this. Jack Evans looks like Chris Sabin if you stretched him out. My God, he does. Wait, is it Jack Evans or Angelico?
Oh, no, it's Angelico. I watched that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Jack Evans looks nothing like Chris Sabin.
No, he looks nothing like Chris Sabin. So there you go. I botched that one, TJ. Sorry, I tried to get you into the second half of the show, TJ. My bad. But Jungle Boy picked up his 50th win, the most on AEW. Oh. But you know what, Elio? He also picked up another win. He picked up a win as he picked up Anna Jay.
I saw that.
Girlfriend.
I saw that. I know.
Come on. I mean, Elio, man, you got Jungle Boy Jack, man. He's going to have to share her or something because I now know you now have nobody to go turn to. Who else is available? All these women are getting taken up by wrestlers, Elio.
What's going on?
What are you going to do?
Maybe I have to go after Jungle Boy and take him out.
Oh, man. You can do
put a hit out on him? I don't know.
Or you could grow your hair out like him. And see what happens. Next up, we had MJF backstage. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. MJF just talks and talks and talks.
You know what? Although you said in the group that he's finally wrestling. You know why? Because I think he listened to the last episode where I called him out and told him to either wrestle or get off my screen.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he wasn't wrestling as of yet, but he had a backstage segment promo.
I don't like his promos. There's just something about him.
There's something that's just
especially when he's like calls the person Bud. Just he says it. It's like,
hey, Bud. I hate it. Yeah. Andrade was backstage, and he's debuting next week as he was coming at Matt somebody. in reference to Matt Sydal. I'm excited about it next week in Miami. We'll see what's going to happen with that. What are your thoughts on Andrade's debut?
Yeah, looking forward to it. But so is this something that are they like doing this or with the subtitles, or like is that just because I understood what he was saying?
I understood what he was saying too. I prefer it though. I don't have a problem with it. What are your thoughts on it? Do you have a problem?
I was asking, like, is this something that they're like purposely doing, or?
Yeah, I think they're purposely doing it for Andrade specifically because he has a thick accent and it's kind of hard to get what he's saying from it. But yeah, I have no issues with it. Honestly,
I'm
fine with it.
Yep.
Then we had Kenny Omega and Evil Uno have a promo, go a little back and forth. What was your take on this one?
I didn't mind this one. This one was actually not bad. And we all see where this one's going. Adam Page and Kenny Omega finally.
Yes. This was
looking forward to that match.
This was a decent promo. Honestly, though, Elio, I was kind of hoping somebody from Dark Order or like somebody new was going to join the Dark Order. And
that's what I thought. That's what I thought at first. When they're like, well, we have someone that we befriended.
Yeah, I totally forgot about Adam Page, and I was just like, oh yeah, that's right.
No. Did you notice Kenny Omega? Didn't he look like Triple H, the Evolution?
Yeah, the Evolution. Yes, because he also had he had the chops and he had the mustache, but he had the goatee was gone. Looks like the Elite just went to the barber and said, "Listen, man, we want redneck mustaches, and let's do it." And they did it. Next up, we had Miro defeat Brian. Huh?
Yeah, no, I'm just following along. Miro and Brian Pillman.
Yeah, we have Miro defeat Brian Pillman Jr. Earlier in the show, Brian Pillman Jr. called Miro a Bulgarian bitch.
I love how that's everyone's go-to word.
Yeah, it's like, well, the thing is, calling somebody a bitch is just like one of the low things you do. Like, I know I've never been to prison, and I hope I never go because I'm too pretty to go to prison. But I hear the word bitch in prison is really bad. So I'm guessing they're using that terminology where you call somebody a bitch, it's supposed to be so offensive. But Miro comes out with new theme music. I thought this was I really like the new music that he's been using lately.
They got rid of that best man entrance.
Yeah, they got rid of the best man entrance. So I'm fine with that. I'm loving the new Miro with the whole finding Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior.
He's God's favorite champion.
Yes, God's favorite champion. And he went out to defeat Brian Pillman rather easily. And I think that's exactly what he needs. Yep. But he needs some competition sooner rather than later, I feel. I don't want it to grow stale. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, match. I want to see it because, we all know Brian Pillman's not going to be he's like a tag team wrestler. He's not going to be a TNT champion.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Who would I... Can you see maybe John Silver as a TNT champion?
Oh, nah. You know...
I don't want Darby Allin again.
No. But I don't see anybody in competition with Miro. I don't see anybody on the roster. I think they're going to have to go away from the roster to get somebody to be competition.
Do you think he's going to end up feuding with Kip Sabian? I mean, he's the one who took Sabian out by injuring his arm in the door.
That's true. Maybe that will be some kind of competition. But I think at the end of the day, maybe somebody like Christian Cage, maybe a Paul White, maybe a Mark Henry, somebody along those lines. I'm just thinking the bigger they are, the harder they fall to go to fight up against somebody as big and strong as Miro.
Yeah.
He would need to take that belt off him. You're going to need somebody big. And I don't see anybody in AEW right now at that stature. Next up, we had the Dark Order and Adam Page backstage, and Adam Page's like, "What the hell are y'all doing? Why are you guys putting out there?"
Was that before or after the Taz? But
that was before. That was right before.
Right before. Okay.
Yeah. So the Dark Order and Adam Page is backstage, and they're talking. Adam Page is upset because they put him on the spot and they put him in the title picture, and they just said, "I think you're just afraid." and you're afraid to lose. And he got upset, and he was just looking like he got inspired by that, and he was ready to go. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not ready for it yet. I think they need to build this. I think you need some time, though. What do you think? Is this something they should build quickly, or should it take a little more time?
You can't just give us the match right away. You have to build it up some. Because if you just if we get the match right away, that's not good. There's no build to the story. You have to remind everyone these two are tag team champions. They were the longest reigning champions, and then go through Kenny Omega's transformation to heel and now winning the world championship, and Page's fall, and now this is his redeeming himself.
Gotcha. No, I agree with you. Next up, now we have the Team Taz backstage promo. I know you love yourself some Team Taz. We're finally getting the matchup.
No, you're wrong about that. I don't like Team Taz. No. Hook needs to get off my screen.
Hook spoke. Hook spoke for the first time. He can speak. But we're finally getting the FTW Championship on the line. Brian Cage versus Ricky Starks. Are you looking forward to that match at least?
Not really. Although I don't know. Brian Cage is a face.
Listen, man, who better?
I thought that's the thing. I thought this already concluded at Double or Nothing. I mean, I thought Cage turned face at that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
They're still drawing this out.
They're dragging it out. See, the thing is, AEW doesn't know when to let things die sometimes. Sometimes you just got to let it die and just move on. Speaking of letting it die, we had Britt Baker and Rebel defeat Rose and Vicky Guerrero. Rebel got hurt.
I saw what you were talking about because I went back and I rewound it. And I saw that spot. She was going across the ring and then she just tripped and
it was a no contact injury, which is probably the scariest kind of injury because she was holding her knee and she literally dragged herself out like a slug. First of all, if you want to talk bad about Rebel, I think you better give her some respect and put some respect on her name because this woman dragged herself out the ring. I'm thinking the worst possibility is a torn ACL. Hopefully it's not, but it looked pretty bad. It was if you ever watch football and you see a football player go down and nobody touches him, it's a torn ACL.
And you can see Nyla Rose even dragged her over to the ropes.
Yep, and try to get her out as faster. This was the worst match of the night, in my opinion. Vicky Guerrero had no business being in the ring. I'm sad that Rebel got really hurt. Britt Baker couldn't make this match good. I don't know. The table spot was ridiculous.
I even said it earlier. No one wants to see this match.
Yeah. And they just really left a bad taste in my mouth. But that bad taste was replaced by the Inner Circle backstage. We had Jake Hager. We had Santana Ortiz with a great backstage segment.
I love that promo. It's still Santana Ortiz's promo. That was the best that I've heard from them.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it. And Ortiz, ooh, you done messed up.
Yo, right? That was my favorite part, too. It was right at the end. He's like, woo, you done messed up. Yeah, you did. Oh, man. Santana is just so scary when he gets serious. When he talks, it's just so serious. Jake Hager needs a little help, but he got a haircut. He looked good. He looks good with the haircut. But yeah, that was a really good promo. And of course, our main event, we had MJF defeat Sammy Guevara at the end. Elio, I know you really wanted to see MJF wrestle. He wrestled. What are your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, he listened to the show because I called him out. I told him to wrestle and get off my screen because all you do is talk and say the same bullshit week in and week out.
Yeah.
So he finally wrestled, and I thought this match was great. I enjoyed it, especially that one spot, the Spanish fly that Sammy Guevara delivered, and that dive over the
railing, the barricade. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That was badass. Let's not forget the power driver from the second rope from MJF. That's scary. That is such a scary maneuver. I will say this, though. This was a spot fest match. The match started off, and they were just doing spot after spot after spot, doing all these spots. When you have a match like the opening match with the Young Bucks and Eddie and Penta, everybody talks about the Young Bucks are spot monkeys. This was a spot monkey match, in my opinion. I still thought it was a good match. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was a really good match with MJF and Sammy Guevara.
But at least we didn't see the rest of the Pinnacle and Inner Circle come out and then mess everything up.
Yeah, we had Jericho, we had Wardlow, and we had the chairman, Sean Spears, come out. But yeah, I'm glad that everybody else didn't come out and do a kerfuffle or like an NWO finish, like you said earlier in the show. But I will say this. So Sammy Guevara, for the longest time, everybody calls him the Spanish God. And for me, I thought he was from Spain, because when you call somebody Spanish, you're from Spain, right? And if you're Latino, you're from the Caribbean or you're from Mexico. So for me, or South America. So for me, when I hear Spanish God, I thought he derived from Spain. Turns out he's from Houston, Texas, and he's Cuban. So wouldn't he be the Latin God or the Latino God instead of the Spanish God?
You know?
I just didn't know.
Well, now you confuse me. So does that mean my brother's wife's Latin? She's from Mexico.
Yeah, she's a Latina.
Wow.
Now, like that's one of those things where people are like, "Oh, well, they're Spanish." No, they speak Spanish, but if they're Spanish, they're from Spain. It's not that complicated, people. I'm just saying. But anyways, I digress. This was a great episode of AEW Dynamite. 2 weeks in a row. Well, not 2 weeks. It's 1 week. Saturday's episode and Wednesday's episode. Back-to-back episodes. Really, really good. Really enjoyed it. Elio, what is your grade?
I'm giving this a B+. I enjoyed this show.
Wow. All right. I totally agree with you. B+. I thought it was a really good show. They had the one match that I didn't like was the Baker and Rebel match, defeating Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero. And then some of the promos were just weak. And there was a lot of promos. Omega and Evil Uno. You had Ethan Page promo, Christian and Jungle Boy backstage, Team Taz backstage, Dark Order and Adam Page back. There's a lot of backstage and a lot of promo segments here. But overall, I did like this show. I gave it a B+, and you gave it a B+, so it averages out to a B+. With that being said, I'm your host, Rick Serrano III, Mr. Ricky Two Belts, Mr. Third Wheel, Mr. First Ever, along with the gentleman,
Elio Canella.
And Elio, tell the fine folks when we'll see him next.
All right. In the meantime, in between time, that's it. Another edition of Wrestling POV Global. Bye-bye for now. We'll talk to you all next week.